Now here she is. Connie Chung joins us here now. Welcome. It's so exciting to have you here.
Oh, it's so exciting to be with you, Steve, because I think, the president of Steve Kornacki groupies. I mean, seriously.
This is a frightening sounding name there. We'll give you a sweater to commemorate it or something.
Exactly. Well, I was going to wear khakis, a button-down shirt, and a crew-neck sweater, you know, because that's what the groupies wear.
It's comfortable.
I mean the Steve Kornacki groupies.
This is. I'm alarmed to hear that term even put out there. But let me ask you this: we played that interview coming in, and I got to say I was on this show, the Andy Cohen show on Broadway. They made me the bartender. But he dug up that clip that we just played of you interviewing Donald Trump. It's amazing to watch because it's 26 years ago. But that is the Trump style right there. It hasn't changed at all.
No, not one bit. Not one bit. He tries to bloviate and dominate. And I think as a reporter, you really need to just keep peppering him with questions. And, well, that's what I did. At that time, you know, he was still married to Ivana, the first one. And then the very next day after we did the interview, he announced a divorce. And we were just interviewing him because I don't know why. I mean, I have no idea why we decided to interview him. After it was over, he was not happy. He was truly.
This became like a public controversy. He was bashing you in the press.
Yes, just the same way, remarkably, he did an interview with Joan Rivers soon thereafter, I think. And he used the same words to describe me as he had with Megyn Kelly. So it was really, he has not expanded his vocabulary when it comes to women reporters that he wants to disparage.
And so what do you think we always talk about he is a media character. He's learned in many ways to master the media. So he did it with Megyn Kelly. He did it with you. What is the strategy there that you think he's following? Or is he just lashing out because he can't help himself?
You know, it's inexplicable to me. I don't know. I don't know what it is that evokes that kind of reaction. I've covered lots of politicians, and they kind of come in three categories, you know. The ones who really hate us, the ones who tolerate us, and the ones who use us very smartly. In other words, there are complete and total ways to do that, to use the news media to your advantage.
Which would you put him in? Which category is he?
He's in a category of his own.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he switches, you know, love, hate, whatever.
I mean, he uses it. The media, he has...
yes, well, without question. But, I mean, he's a combination of all three. Yeah. I think he does despise us, as many do. I mean, look at where we stand in the country. Something like 6%... consider us to be.
He knows how to touch the country's dislike of the media, Congress, all those things. Well, let me ask you this: so looking ahead to the fall, there's going to be debates. We assume there'll be debates. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. From a news media standpoint, if you were going to be one of the moderators for that debate, or if one of the moderators came in and asked you advice, how do you handle Donald Trump? What is the answer to that?
I think that the most critical thing is to do follow-ups. In other words, a lot of the debates didn't quite allow as many follow-ups because of the time constraints. I would love to see some follow-ups and to always have your facts good at hand, I mean, right at hand. In other words, there are so many inaccuracies uttered by all presidential candidates. It just is flowing. That I would love, just the way on Pardon the Interruption, when they later, you know, do you watch Pardon the Interruption on ESPN, right, with Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon? At the end, there's a guy who is the Truth Squad, right, and he beep and you know, states facts.
You want one of those guys for the debates, yeah? Exactly.
A little beep, and then we'll know what was inaccurate. But then the whole program, I mean, the entire debate would be overtaken by buzzers.
Well, what about, we focus on Trump here, but Hillary Clinton, you covered her as well.
Sure.
20 years ago, she's the first lady. Now here she is. Has she changed, or do you feel when you see her now you're watching the same person?
She's the same. She's very smart. I mean, the first time I had close contact with her was when she was pushing her health care plan as First Lady. And she sat there with, you know how aides are always right behind the candidate, the politician, the congressperson, and they're constantly, the actual politician is whipping the head around, looking for answers because it's not in that memory bank. She never got whiplash.
Always prepared.
Yes. However, there's that side of her I found that was so incredibly paranoid and cautious, because I later saw her at some other event, another small sort of debriefing, similar to the one before. And I simply said to her, one-on-one, I said, I'm tracking you, meaning I'm following whatever you're going to do next. And she looked at me as if I said, I'm stalking you. Mm. So there's this.
She does. I mean, that's what I hear. She does not trust the media.
No. So she's one of those, who doesn't trust us, doesn't want to have anything to do with us. The ones who are the smartest are the ones who use us. In other words, they understand the relationship between the press and leaders. Nelson Rockefeller, who was vice president under Gerald Ford, loved us because if we peppered him with tough, terrible questions, he would fight back, and it just showed how smart and feisty he was. Richard Nixon thought we were all out to get him, and probably he was right.
Some enjoy it, and some sort of withdraw from it. It's an interesting dynamic.
Exactly, and set up a shield, which is really not smart